10 years ago. And the unit itself was like $15,000 or $17,000. And then to be on YouTube was another whatever. And when we went to do this, the entire kit and caboodle was like $5,000.
Wow.
It's amazing how things change.
And technology.
Yeah, and how technology has changed.
Yeah. I would never come in for a council meeting to sit and watch. Long walk.
I-
But I can sit on the couch and watch.
You must be really bored.
No, I'm just very interested.
I'm gonna send Dave to your house while I'm watching Grey's Anatomy.
Someone text me, oh, Marcia Valley's lying.
Yeah, there you go. There you have it. Patrick, where are you? I like that beam.
It's actually in my home. We converted actually a 3-season room into a 4-season room this year, and yeah, we love it. It's like couldn't be. The sun makes things a little easier to deal with in the winter for sure.
Yeah, no, it's really pretty.
Thank you.
Just wanted to make sure. I'm just wondering if Lynn is Councillor Epps.
I don't know. I remember if that's how she spelled her name. Or
I am too. No, I think it's that way.
No, maybe not, because I sent it to some date.
Oh, okay, great, great.
But I'm not sure because it was just the last name was.
Okay, that's excellent. Well, it is 6 p.m. Nobody else is in the waiting room, Annette?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, good evening. I'm Jennifer Murphy, and I'll be your moderator for this evening. A few housekeeping items for those in chambers. The washrooms are around the corner. Also, for those in chambers, I would ask that you either turn your cell phone off or put it to vibrate. For those on Zoom, and I see you all are, please put yourself on mute unless you are called on to speak. Just a quick reminder, this is not a council meeting, nor a public meeting under the Planning Act. Council is in attendance so that we hear you firsthand. As this is a community information session, please direct all questions and concerns to the representatives of Delcan, and they are on your screen. That's Mark and Patrick. After the presentation from Delcan, I would call on those that have their hands up in an orderly manner. Please state your name and then make your comments. I would also ask that questions are kept to less than 5 minutes and that everyone is respectful of each other. In the spirit of efficiency, if someone has already spoken to your concern, perhaps let someone else speak. And now I'll turn this over to Mark Duran and Patrick Delaney. Take it away, guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mayor. I just wanted to say hi, maybe give Pat a quick opportunity to say hi too, because I'll be doing a lot of the talking. But Pat, if you wanted to say hey.
Yeah, I just want to say hello to everybody here. Your input is valued by us, and we really appreciate your interest in this opportunity, and thank you for taking the time to meet with us as well.
Awesome. Yeah, so I mean, really that's what this is about, is meeting with ourselves, giving information out to the community with regards to kind of the progress that we've been making with our investment, Delcan Agriculture, and the property on Sebastopol. So as many of you are aware, it's becoming a cannabis production facility, and we've done a lot of, we're really excited, and we've done a lot of work sort of to get us to this point at this meeting here to share with you guys. And of course, as the last meeting, we're fully aware that there are questions, concerns, all that type of stuff. So we're here to answer those and do the best we can and provide you with the most information that we could provide you. So yeah, really thank you guys for your time to show up and have this interest. And maybe what we can do is we can start it off with the presentation. I prepared a little PowerPoint here. And I think, Annette, would you be able to share that PowerPoint? Perfect. Perfect. All right. So, I mean, as you can see, Delcan Agriculture, that is us, Pat and myself. And what we're really here, I think, to see is sort of the interpretation of the new building, what it's going to look like after construction, the site plan that we've been working with council on, and a couple of the other kind of secondary or not, I mean, they're still important, but I think we're here to see that first and then answer some questions with regards to, say, water, odor, traffic, these types of things. So Pat and I, we're Delcan Agriculture. Hopefully you've seen us before. If this is your first time, nice to meet you. And what we've been doing as of late is working on our site plan and our site plan agreement with council. And that's our next slide. And so we have a picture of that.
I think it's up there. Can you see me switching the slides?
I cannot, but that's
Oh.
okay. That's okay.
I think he can only see Annette if you leave it as
Okay.
not as a slideshow, just with the PowerPoint on the side.
Okay, just hang on a second and I'll switch back.
No problem.
Mark, can you see it now?
There it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. So this is super cool. This is something that we've been developing, which kind of gives everybody a good indication of what's happening with regards to landscaping, construction, changes in, let's say, the fire route, parking. You'll see at the top right, facing the park, there's a tree line, a fence, these types of things. So all of this, working with the county and the township, the planning arms and the experts there who are great. We came to this kind of conclusion here that satisfied all the requirements, safety, environmental, all these types of things. And we did a full, what we came up with from our engineers, and kind of gives a good indication of, you can see the building across, and then, kind of the spacing around it, the fact that we're going to be adding in the parking lot and widening a bit of the fire route at the top. What's really cool is we also have renderings of this, which gives you kind of a really good kind of real view of what this is going to look like. So if we go to the next slide, this here is kind of not a representation. This is what it will look like. This isn't a copy of anything or somebody else's building or anything like this. This is Delcan's building. This is our plans. We're hooked to that. That's always our anchor. And this is what we've proudly kind of come up with to kind of refresh the building, bring it up to the standards that the feds will require for us to produce cannabis. So we have a couple more images. This one, obviously of one angle with the delivery door, small door, and our main door up front. If we go to the next slide, kind of a little bit more of an aerial view. It's of the same kind of angle, but a little bit more up top. You can see how the parking lot is kind of shaped, what it will kind of look like, how the pathways and the concrete and the delivery all kind of work. And of course, we have a couple of cube vans here, which represent pretty much what the delivery of inputs and outputs will be. There's not going to be kind of any large transport trucks or anything like that. It's mostly these cube vans. So if we go to the next slide, here's an angle from the other side. So this is more of the parking lot, and you'll see, it's a nice path around, and there's a little bit of shrubbery here and there with our logo, and a nice kind of green pop to it. We think it looks pretty good. And so there's a couple more. If we go to the next slide, here's kind of a night view with a little bit of the lighting around. I think this looks really nice. Yeah, so you know, our pathway into our entrance with a little bit of lighting. You can see in the background the parking lot, that type of stuff. I think we have another one. Yeah, so that gives a little bit of a better indication of the fencing around it, some of the aspects of the building, the coloring, and of course the Delcan popping logo in green, with essentially kind of our vision of what this building will look like. And we brought it into play here, and this is kind of the final product. So we're really happy with the outcome of this, and we think it looks pretty nice. Definitely a vast improvement of what's there, and we hope you like it also. So with that, I mean, I think that's what a lot of people were here to see. So I, you know, started off with the fireworks, but there's more, of course. Delcan totally, as noted last time, being aware that with change, there's always going to be questions, and we're here to answer those. So if we go to the next slide, I laid out a couple of topics, maybe to help start the conversation. I know they are of concern, and they were of concern. For those that have seen it, might be a little bit of a repeat, but you know, it's always good to reinforce these things. So first off, we have water, which is on the next slide. And I mean, a lot of what we've heard, a lot of what we're seeing is okay, look, the water supply of Foymont's low. You know, are you guys going to be tapping into that? You know, this is an agricultural business. You're going to be using a lot of water. What are you going to leave us with? You know, that type of stuff. And also, with the water that you're going to be using, where's it going at the end of the day? I know you're going to be using fertilizers. Where's it draining to? Is this going to affect our groundwater? You know, all these types of things. Very legit, very, you know, very much a high concern, and totally respected for that. With that in mind, the response that we have, that the water that we're going to be using, it will be purchased offsite. So no water is going to be coming from the water table. No water is going to be, your water supply is not going to be affected at all. So all the water is going to be purchased off-site, and they will deliver it to our building. And right now, the wastewater system is self-contained. All the runoff and wastewater gets collected into a wastewater tank and then pumped into a tanker. And that tanker truck is similar to a septic way of doing the septic tank. That tanker transports it off-site to a recycling facility, and it's all taken care of outside of essentially the town of Foymont, and there will be no runoff or contamination or anything that will be affecting the groundwater. We do have a goal moving forward. Technology is increasing and getting cheaper, and we're excited about this, that we have a goal of zero waste. So we will be looking into, you know, different technologies on how to absolutely reduce water waste to zero, which would be amazing, because water is money and it's expensive. And also we use organic fertilizers. Not used for runoff. Our septic system, as per our site plan agreements, is to only be used for our regular kind of plumbing, the taps and toilets type thing. We're not using it at all for any of the industrial uses. That septic system was just recently inspected, and it's in perfect working condition, so there's no worries there. We were thinking maybe we'd have to replace something, but fortunately we don't. It was just inspected, and it's good to go. So hopefully on the water thing, that sums it up, saying, you know, everything coming in is not going to be from Foymont, and everything going out is going out of Foymont. So the next one being that we've heard concerns about being, of course, is traffic, which is on the and with the traffic, what we see is it's going to, you know, there will be a slight increase. Absolutely. The building's not used very much right now, but it will be used on a daily basis as we move forward. And looking at the employees and the economic impact, that type of thing, the people that we're going to hire, how to keep the lights on and run this business, we're looking at about, let's say, 10 to 15 people daily in and out. So, you know, 9 to 5, let's say 9, they come in, 5, they go out, 10 to 15 vehicles. We're also going to, like we said on the last slide, you're going to be importing the water. That's going to be about once a month on a water tanker truck. And then, like I showed on the renderings with the cube van, we're going to be looking at inputs coming in and deliveries of product going out, maybe about once or twice a month, that type of thing. So any of the that increase in traffic, of course, would be focused solely on the industrial business park. There's not going to be, people cruising the town type thing with the intention that any of that resource, that's time and money, we're in, we're out. We don't want to be using the road resources any more than we need to. So it'll definitely be focused on the business park, and we've seen the reviews of those roadways. It's relatively new and they're in very good condition. As we looked back, late 2000s, we had Blackwater. That was 175 employees in and out. And before that, with the military, it was much, much more. So we will see a slight increase, but not even close to those levels, and more to the levels that I speak to here. Of course, on the next slide, big issue for a lot of folks, totally understand, odor. Seen stuff in the news, seen, talk about venting, these types of things. At Delcan, we're using a very different approach. We won't be venting to the outdoors. We don't want any actual contact with the outdoors. As we open up the outdoors, that's when stuff gets in. We're worried about stuff getting in. And so with that in mind, we're 100% self-contained. We're not a greenhouse. We're not going to be opening windows. We're not going to be opening doors. And all the air, sort of the let's call it waste air, that's going to be going out of the building, passes through very high efficiency filters that are required and reviewed by Health Canada. And what else we've done, not just for odor, but I thought it was good to have it in this section, because this is probably maybe where people would smell something and be like, hey, what's up with that? We don't see that happening, but of course, as a fail-safe, not just for this, but for any of issues that you see that you can, want to talk to us about, you have questions or want us to fix or have suggestions, we're going to be implementing, as per our agreement with the council, a dedicated complaint line where residents, you can voice your concerns and we can quickly address them. And have a quick resolution, because that not only helps us, that helps, obviously the individuals who are complaining, because obviously there's a negative effect on them. We'd like to stop that, but it also helps us because, as you can see on the slide, at any point, Health Canada can come in and audit us, which includes odor. So if something's stinking, people are, have an issue with that, there is a complaint line, a federal complaint line, to be able to call and essentially report the odor or the discrepancy. And if you do that, that's absolutely great. But there's also a step in between that if you wanted to use it, which is to talk to us personally. We can fix it even quicker than having to go through all of that. And it helps us too, so we don't get a red mark from Health Canada. So it's a win-win. The next one being the playground. A lot of young families. I'm a father myself. My daughter just turned 2 in December. Love the playgrounds. And what we see here was some concern about the sight lines, these types of things. So as an agreement with council, Delcan is putting in a tree sight line, a tree line between the playground and the building that we have. Although we do think the building is a vast improvement. We're not like trying to hide it or anything like that, but we do understand, the separation between business and pleasure, right? So the park itself, when you saw at the beginning our plan, we had a tree line in there, and that will run across between the park and our property, which will be covering the view of the building. So that's, I think, a pretty neat thing. And of course, the last kind of big oomph that we have is the economic impact, the jobs that we're going to be providing, the opportunity that we hope to bring to the area. Also having, good people, good business. It's a spillover effect. There's always economies of scale where other people, there's maybe way more jobs than this, but right now at the beginning stages, we see these types of positions being available. So we'll have some direct impact. And of course, we've already hired a few on the indirect side, whether it be landscaping, the water, equipment maintenance, these types of things. And of course, the big one that we're really pushing for, because again, from a business sense, it makes sense to hire local people who are close to the area, are passionate about the area. And those are the type of people that we want to hire. And there's a really good sort of base of human resources in the area. And that's one of the reasons why we really like it here, is that there's good people in the area that like to work. And if there's opportunity, we'd love to provide it on a local basis. So I think that's something that's going to be really neat moving forward. But as you can see, we hope to have a positive impact on the township, on and the people. So at the end of the day, really, that's where we're at. We're excited. I hope you can see it from my tone. I hope you're excited too. And we look forward to moving forward together. So with that in mind, that brings a close to my presentation, and I will pass it back to Mayor Murphy.
Thanks, Mark. We'll just stop sharing here. Thank you, Annette. Oh, we've grown a little. We've got a few more people. So once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand. I'll call on you, and if you could just state your name and then give your question, comment, or concern. Yes. Hi, Paulette.
Hi there. I have a concern. A lot of people up here like to do skidooing in the fields across from where my house is, and that's right across from the park. Now, if they're going to fence all that in, that takes away from our land that we're able to use to skidoo on. What's going to be corrected so that you don't take away from our pleasure time that we have up here?
So
I can touch on that. So the only land that will be actually fenced in will be the land owned by Delcan, and the fence line, the tree line will run on the perimeter of our land. So there'll be no public land that will be infringed upon whatsoever. It will be only our privately owned land.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody else? Nobody? You're good? Okay. Yes, Samantha, you can unmute and ask your question.
Curious about the proposed trees outside of the playground. Are they going to be on the inside or the outside of the fence?
They will just run along our perimeter of across the field on our on the border of our land. They will be on the exterior of the fence. The fence is not going to run right to the very edge of the perimeter of the property. The fence will be brought in tighter to the building. So the trees will be on the outside, deflecting any kind of unsavory views if deemed so. And again, it'll be only on the privately owned land. Nothing will infringe on the park or any in that manner whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Samantha, did you have a follow-up or? No, oh, she put her hand down.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? Oh, Paulette, do you have your hand back up? Sorry about that.
No, I just want to know how is all of this going to benefit the community of Foymount? Like, is it going to bring revenue to Foymount? Is it going to bring different things to Foymount when this is all said and done? Or is it just going to be grown here and taken out and we have nothing in our community to show for having this building or having this company here? Because like with Blackwater, it benefited our community because we could go to Blackwater and we could buy clothes and we could do this and that. But with this company, we can't do that. And I want to know what's going to benefit us here in the community with this.
For sure, for sure. I mean, and that community benefit is at, it's at kind of the forefront of what we're doing here. And part of that being employment, looking local first, hopefully folks in the community who are able to work with us. So that's one benefit that we see coming back. Two, the revitalization of the business park. So that some buildings in there aren't necessarily doing that well visually. Revitalizing a part of it, a lot of it has a trickle-on effect too, where you know, the land value goes up, the security of the area is increased because there's people there, there's cameras on, that type of stuff. At the end of the day, also what we see is, no, you won't necessarily be able to come up to our front door and buy anything at a retail type thing, because we're not allowed to do that. Maybe regulation might change in the future where we are allowed to have something like that. You can come up and buy t-shirts or whatever it is. Absolutely. I think that would be awesome. But at the end of the day, it's a lot on the employment side of things, the revitalization of the business park side of things, and to kind of giving back where, when this gets off the ground, when we're profitable, we really want to take care of everybody. We really want to take care of, have a really community feel and be proud of where we're from. So that kind of promotion too could bring more attention to the area also.
But I've noticed also that there's a lot of elderly in this area. So there's not much in the area for employment when it comes to having people come to your facility to work. So how is that going to work?
Right. I mean, it's a good point that there are elderly. I mean, it's a great community to retire in. But as we heard on our last town hall, and there were a lot of young families on the Zoom meeting, it's turning over. There's a lot of young people coming back in. The people that were passionate about the park, who had the young people. We received maybe 2 or 3 resumes already from people around that really wanted to work. So I get you. There is that aspect of it, which totally is great. I love it. But at the end of the day, it is rejuvenating, and that's what's exciting here is Foymont. People are coming into Foymont with young families and kind of getting that fire going again. And we could be part of that by providing opportunity, or at least interest. At least interest, if not the opportunity to come work here.
Okay.
Hey, does anybody else? Somebody's not, oh, no, they are, okay. Yes, Samantha, go ahead. And then Lynn, I see you, I'll get you next.
Hi, sorry. So when you say that you're going to make employment for locals sort of your forefront, does that mean Foymount locals, or does that mean locals to anywhere? And what kind of sort of are you going to have a Foymount job fair? What policies, what checks and balances?
Right. No, absolutely. We had this question last time. I forget who asked it, but what I likened it to was kind of the eat local, where if you have the product within, let's say, a 50-kilometer radius, okay, we're good to go. Let's take that. And it makes sense too from a business side where, reduction of travel, like I said before, people more passionate about the area when they're coming from the area, and the ability to work and the human resource base out there. But what it comes down to is there's certain skills that we need. Some are more general, some are more specific. If we can't find the specific jobs or skills that we need for the jobs within that radius, we then kind of move out until we find the right person that can do the job for us. And yes, we will have more like on the want ad side of things. And when we do kick it off, we will make a kind of a big splash of apply, these positions are available, with that policy of, hiring local first, if the skills are available. If they're not, we continue to move our way out. But I mean, as you could appreciate, or I can appreciate, somebody doesn't really want to drive 4 hours to come to work in the morning, so the closer we can get, the better. And that's the business decision that we're going to make, where we want the people who are passionate about the area.
Of course.
Okay, Lynn, you had your hand up. Oh, she put it down.
Yeah, it's okay. Thanks. We're good.
Oh,
I'll make
okay,
a
thank
comment.
you.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Okay, all right. I was on here a year ago, and I'm glad to see the changes that are going on today. I was really pleased today to hear words like a site plan, because last year when we started, there was no plans in sight that I could see. And I work in the construction industry, and before we usually start out on a project, we always have an engineering plan, electrical plan, a site plan, and that's where we get our costs from. That we know where we're going and so on. So I'm glad to hear. And I saw that you guys have meddled in the building. It looks a lot better than it did. Good job.
Nice.
And,
thank you.
So I was also glad to hear about the septic inspection. and the waste soil leakage and stuff that can happen if it's not up to speed.
For sure.
So very good points that you made, and good progress to this point. A lot better than last year when we were here.
Has it been a year? Oh, thank you.
I think it's been a year.
Thank you for that. And I should have mentioned, and I apologize, if anybody wants to read the site plan, it's quite a comprehensive document between Delcan and the county and the township. It's got a lot of information in it. And I'm glad that it was brought up. Actually, you caught me in an error there that I should have talked about at the very beginning. But if you'd like to read it, it is on our website, and it's quite a lofty document. Samantha, you had a follow-up.
Hi, yes, I'm just curious about security. Are you going to have your own on-site security, or are you going to hire like a third-party company, like a...
We're not sure yet. I mean, ideally, we'd like to have somebody there. We haven't got into the cost of that or anything yet. I mean, the base regulation that we would need, if you look, I know you don't want to go look at the Health Canada security regulations, but it's really intensive with cameras, glass breaks, motion sensor. Like, we don't necessarily really need someone there because it's so well taken care of, and that's regulated by the feds. But ideally, we would want somebody there, but we're not exactly sure right now.
All right. Did anybody have anything further? Oh, there's your hand out. Oh, Paulette, you've got your finger up. Wave at me. There you go.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you can't find somebody for the positions that you need, would you be willing to train?
Can I take this one?
Pat, go for it.
Absolutely. If we have the ability to hire someone locally, or we have the opportunity to train somebody, it's in our best interest, that person's best interest. Just geographically, we want people that are close to their work. As Mark touched on, we don't want someone who's got to, who's trying to commute 2 hours to there. If the opportunity to hire locally presents itself in any shape or form, it is my priority to get it done, whether that be training people or giving them the opportunity if they're qualified to work there. Like, absolutely.
That was an excellent question. All right, anything further? All right, well, guys, I really appreciate your time. I think that this went very well. I hope that people, we have live streamed it. So if you weren't, on the Zoom, if people want to go and watch it, then that's fantastic. Again, all the information is on our website, and I'm sure, Annette, we could probably put up the Delcan presentation as well.
Sure.
Just especially, I mean, I love, look, the photos are amazing, but the nitty gritty that you put together about water, odor, etc. I think those are very important for residents to know about. But I thank you for doing this. It was part of our condition as a township that you hold this public information session.
Sure.
So yeah, no, thanks. But I urge people to read the site plan because it's a lot more than I'm sure you guys thought we were going to request. But we heard from our residents, and I think we tried to include, or the county tried to include, every concern that was presented.
I agree. And please, yes, please do read it. We worked hard on it. We all worked hard on it. So just don't let it sit there, please. Like my, an old library book. But I wanted to thank yourself, Madam Mayor, and all the councillors and everybody who joined us. And I really want to thank Annette too. Like, Annette, you really helped us out through all this process. I know it took time and effort, and sometimes it wasn't that fun, but you were professional throughout. And I really want to thank you, and just to say, like, publicly, you knocked it out of the park. So
you can't see her, but she's laughing.
Okay, no, honestly, like, and I know I could be like, I apologize in advance, but Annette, you were awesome. Mayor Murphy, like everybody was great. And I just want to thank you guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you. Thank
thanks,
you very much.
guys. Have a great evening.
Okay,
too.
thank you.
Bye
Thank
all.
you.